a harvest of withdrawals, the most dramatic being the case of Adebayo Shitu, who finally caved in and surrendered his ambition to contest for the post of National Secretary of the party after intervention and public apology by Southwest Yoruba Nation leaders led to him to the podium by Segun Osoba. The Northeast Development Commission (NEDC) says it is making plans to further stabilize the region and ensure a rapid development across the states affected by Boko Haram insurgency. The Commission's Managing Director, Mohammed Goni, made this known while addressing stakeholders in Yola during a consultative meeting. Percy Debang tells us more.
Officials of the Northeast Development Commission are today hosting the Adamawa State government and stakeholders in the state to begin the process of developing a master plan for the stabilization and development of the region that has suffered over a decade of Boko Haram insurgency. While addressing the gathering, the Managing Director of the Commission, Mohammed Goni, who was represented by his technical special assistant, says the NEDC is poised to develop a regional stabilization and development master plan for the region that has been affected by insurgency.
The master plan shall contain programs and schemes that promote and facilitate the physical and socio-economic development of the Northeast Zone, as well as estimates of the time and costs of implementing the programs and schemes. The NEDC Establishment Act also designates the Commission as the focal point to coordinate and harmonize all other intervention programs and initiatives that member states, federal government, and all stakeholders will execute for the stabilization and development of the region. To come up with a robust regional master plan, we consider consultations with stakeholders as very pertinent towards producing a credible and comprehensive roadmap for recovery and sustainable socio-economic development of the Northeast.
In his remark, Governor Amadou Fintiri, represented by the Commissioner of Information and Strategy, Dr. Umaru Garba-Pella, commended NEDC for the numerous developmental projects in Adamawa and reiterated commitment to continue to partner with the Commission in that regard.
As a government in Adamawa State, we support 100% the activities of NEDC. And we believe that with this master plan, the chances of having a coordinated approach to the interventions in the region will be a fruition.
A lead consultant, Dr. Kasim Gidado, while presenting an overview of the master plan, highlights the shrinking of the lake chart, desertification, deforestation, and insurgency as some of the challenges bedeviling the region. He said under the plan, various developmental projects will be executed, such as road and railway lines to connect states of the region.
But we are also devastated in the sense that education is also very poor in terms of comparatively when you look at the other parts of the country. We are actually in the 6th position in this regard. And we have over 3.3 million children out of school in the region. To put in context, we have more children out of school in the region than even the internally displaced persons that we have in the region. I know a lot of resources, a lot of effort has been put on to IDPs, but there is also one critical factor that we cannot take our eyes off, which is children out of school. It is a big issue. If we don't address it, it's something that is going to hit us back again in the future, because we don't want this insurgency to keep on repeating itself.
Stakeholders who appreciated the Commission for the foresight expressed optimism that the plan will bring development to the region. Percy Dabang, Viewer Television News, Yola.
The Kaduna State government has confirmed the terrorist attack on the Kaduna International Airport. Newsmen reported that the terrorists, numbering over 200, took over the airport, thereby preventing the takeoff of an aircraft. The terrorists also shot and killed a security official attached to the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, which forced workers at the airport to flee. Several hours later, the State Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Arunwa, who confirmed the attack in a statement, said troops had successfully repelled the terrorists. Arawan added that airport operations resumed with scheduled flights after the incident, noting that, however, that the bandits unfortunately shot and killed the staff during the incident. When Newslive returns, details of these and more comes to you after the break.
The game of polo, it's my life. Polo is good. Though I just started and I'm still learning the basics. But I hope to be a pro in this game, and God being by my side, I know everything will be fine. I started 4 months ago. I started stick and ball 4 months ago, though I attended the riding course in Pakistan. I've learned the riding basics, but the game of polo 4 months ago, I started stick and ball. Every day we mount on the horse, we pray. And once you come down, as you can see, I was about ending and I fell from the horse. It's a normal thing. In horse riding, if you don't fall, you've not started yet. So you need to train. You can see I'm sweating, I'm eating banana, it's part of it. You must train, you must eat well, and you must learn properly. I've chosen polo to be my own sport, and I've always looked up to people like General Kazir Fire, General MSA Aliu, Colonel Waibello, and General Laka. A few of them, I've looked up to these people. These are great polo players, and they've always encouraged me to play the game of polo.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Live. A recap of our top stories. President Buhari remains the compass of APC, says Senate leader. Kaduna confirms airport attack, says troops repelled terrorists. Plus, ECOWAS upholds regional sanctions on Mali. The president of Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation, Civil Service, Technical and Recreational Service Employees says building a new Nigeria is possible. The president of the union was speaking during the 6th Quadrennial National Delegates Conference of the Amalgamated Union of Public Corporations, Civil Service, Technical and Recreational Services Employees, with the theme Building a New Nigeria, the role of the working class in advancing decent work agenda and national transformation in the normal, held at Crimson Suite and Event Center, Jos Plateau State. Nasiru Saidu from Jos tells us more.
22 years after the last conference, the 6th Outer Conference is holding in just the Plateau State, with the huge turnout of members across the 36 states of the Federation. The President of the Union says the conference is to help delegates review their activities over the past 4 years and discuss towards building the new Nigeria.
It is important at this time to make it clear that the dream of our nation's founding fathers has not been fully realized. This is a summation of the state of our country today. This situation accounts for the theme of this national delegate conference, building a new Nigeria. The role of the working class in advancing decent work agenda and national transformation in the era of new normal.
This conference is a loud testimony to the fact that culture in Nigeria remains a bearable and articulate union that has come a long way, notwithstanding the various forces.
Plateau State Governor Lalong, represented by his deputy, while congratulating OUTA for hosting the 2022 conference, pledged government continued collaboration with the union.
OUTA has also been a social partner and enhancing the quality of public utilities in the state. I wish to assure you that government will continue to support in valiant efforts to protect the interests of the working people, their families and communities.
I wish to say that the journey of building a new and better Nigeria is a lifelong, authentic, and project of organizing, particularly the Nigerian Congress. From the active and pivotal role played by the NLC in the struggle for the liberation of Nigeria from colonial forces to the student contribution of workers in nation building.
Plateau State Governor Borno, Bayelsa among other states receive award of recognition for their contribution toward the well-being of the Nigerian workers. Nasu Saidu, Viewer TV News, Jos.
The theater commander of Operation Heading K said the fight against insurgents will end this year. Major General Christopher Musa gave the assurance at a media parley at the theater command in Maimalari Cantonment. It also disclosed that the number of surrendered Boko Haram and ISWAP fighters has risen to more than 50,000 and more are expected to drop their arms. The theater commander, in its overview of first quarter of ongoing and successful operations, revealed that it neutralized terrorists and recovered weapons, and it already embarked on Operation Desert Sanity to clear off insurgents.
Because now I can tell you, we got information they went to attack some farmers. They went to their water pump to remove fuel. To tell you how bad. From our intercept, sometimes you find that they have just 3-4 ammunition. They don't have much, and they can see the time. The challenge we're having is, as we're doing this, from the outside they're getting reinforcements. You know, ISIS is international, so they're getting funding. And most times we find that sometimes when they publish some information, it's propaganda. They look for old things because they don't have any new one to put. The way we're going now, God willing, this year we put this to an end. But that's why we don't want to give you figures so that it doesn't look as if we have told you tomorrow or next tomorrow. We looked at this year, like if we continue the way we're going, we're getting all the support we want. The Chief of Army Staff is doing so well, which means the President is supporting him, the Minister, the CDS, and why this thing is working well is again, is the fact that all the service chiefs were here before. The CDS was here. You know, the Minister of Defense has retired military man, and the President. So all of them are focused, and then the troops and the commanders we have on ground, we have understood that this should not continue forever.
Governor Darius Ishaku has asked youths to entrench truth, hard work, and honesty in all their dealings. The governor said this when he presented a certificate of return to the newly elected executives of the Taraba State Youth Council of Nigeria at the Government House Jalingo.
Darius Ishaku stated that his administration will always help youth in developing their potentials and channeling their enthusiasm into development. The Taraba State Youth Council of Nigeria, according to Governor Darius Ishaku, is a necessity, especially in light of the next election in 2023. The governor expressed his delight at the amount of young people who have been trained and employed in the state and are now working as employers. He offered to furnish the new TYCN executives with a vehicle and lodging.
As a government, we recognize that our youth, our future leaders, must be guided in that direction of the truth, hard work, patriotism, and honesty. However, this can only happen if the government provides the necessary legal framework, which is why I sponsored the executive bill to the Honorable House of Assembly in Taraba State, which was swiftly passed and signed into law on October 20, 2021.
Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Youth and Sports, Aboki Philip, commented, "Youth are the spearhead of growth in the society." He stated that the Ministry of Youth and Sports was swift to organize a free, fair, and credible election after Darius Ishaku signed the bill establishing the TYCN.
Your Excellency, sir, the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development have successfully conducted a free and fair election into the various offices of the State Council and wish to formally hand them over to you for your fatherly blessing.
He asked the state governor to supply the TYCN with office space and 4 Hilux cars so that it could work efficiently throughout the state. Hukun Atoshi, the chairman of the Taraba State Youth Council of Nigeria, had earlier stated that the organization will be driving a revolution in the youth movement, allowing youth to achieve their proper place in accordance with government programs and policies. The TYCN leadership, according to the youth leader, is focused on bringing youth from the state's 16 local government areas, including the 2 special development regions, through awareness, sensitization, and enlightenment. He emphasized that TYCN, the state's apex youth body, is ready to collaborate and partner with any legitimate young organization that will contribute to the progress of the state and humanity through its program. Chairman of the TYCN acknowledged the vital role played by Governor Darius Ishaku, who is the highest employer of youth in the history of the state, for establishing the TYCN. He can also thank State Deputy Governor Haruna Manu, State House of Assembly Speaker Professor Joseph Albasu Kunini, Chief of Staff Government House Administration Haruna Stephen Bana, Secretary to the State Government Anthony Jellison, Commissioner of Youth and Sports Ibrahim Iman, and others for their fatherly advice.
Today we have begun our operation and given a mandate to build a credible youth voice in Taraba State. TYCN will be leading a revolution in the youth movement in Taraba State, where youth will realize their place and work in line with the government policies and programs to achieve a Taraba State of our dreams.
High point of the function was the symbolic presentation of certificates of return to the new executives by Governor Darius Ishaku. Linda Guana, Viwa TV News, Jalingo.
Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo has said that with effect from Monday, April 4th, 2022, all markets, schools, banks, and motor parks around the state will resume normal activities. Speaking at the Women Development Center, Oka, Soludo expressed unhappiness that Anambra State and indeed the whole of the Southeast was losing billions of naira in revenue as a result of the boycott of activities on Mondays. He warned that with effect from the set date, any market leader or chairman who failed to mobilize traders for businesses on Monday in their marketplace would lose his position, adding that any trader who also failed to open his shop on Monday would lose his shop in the market. The warning is coming just a few days after some unknown gunmen sent letters to some Anambra communities warning them of the dangers of not complying with the sit-at-home order on Monday. As the month of Ramadan is fast approaching, a non-profit organization, the Abubakar as-Sadiq Philanthropic Home in Nigeria, in collaboration with the Etam Food Basket of King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, has commenced the distribution of 138 tons of relief items to vulnerable Nigerians. The president of the Abubakar as-Sadiq Philanthropic Home, Abdulrazak Ibrahim Salman, who was represented by the Vice President Special Duties Fatima Gada during the flag-off ceremony in Abuja, said something urgent needs to be done to curtail the increase of food items. The Abubakar as-Sadiq Philanthropic Home is a non-profit organization that was established in 1998 for the primary objective of giving hope to vulnerable Nigerians and West Africa and improving the social well-being of all West Africans regardless of their religious or political affiliation. The Deputy Ambassador of Saudi Arabia to Nigeria, Faisal bin Ibrahim Al-Ghamid, in his remarks said the initiative is targeted at meeting the needs of 13,800 Nigerians through the distribution of food baskets to them as the month of Ramadan is fast approaching. Over the past 6 years, the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, through King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, has spent more than $5 billion on 1,990 projects in 79 countries in the areas of food security, health monitoring and emergency relief, water, sanitation and hygiene education, protection, emergency communication, and charitable assistance, amongst others. West African leaders have said they would uphold the regional sanctions imposed on Mali in January after its military leaders said they would stay in power for 4 more years instead of holding an election in February. The regional economic bloc known as ECOWAS made the decision during a summit in Ghana's capital, Accra, where they also discussed the situations in other coup-affected member states, including Burkina Faso and Guinea. The sanctions in Mali suspended most commerce and financial aid to the country and included land and air border closure with other countries belonging to ECOWAS. The African Economic and Monetary Union Court of Justice ordered the suspension of those sanctions after Mali's leader filed a legal complaint against them, saying they would severely affect Malians. However, ECOWAS President Jean-Claude Cassis-Bro said after the closed-door meeting that it was the only authority that could lift such sanctions. The sanctions, he said, were imposed and must be respected by all countries in the region. He reiterated that ECOWAS leaders wanted an 18 to 24-month timeline to return the country to civilian rule. People in Addis Ababa welcome news of a humanitarian ceasefire in the north of the country. Ethiopian government declared a surprise truce Thursday, saying it hoped the move would ease humanitarian access to Amhara, Afar, and Tigray regions hit by fighting. On Friday, the Tigray People's Liberation Forces (TPLF) rebels said they were ending hostilities in response to Addis Ababa's announcement. After their attempt on the capital was defeated last December, the TPLF attacked the Afar region, blocking a vital route for emergency aid. Fighting broke out in Tigray in November of 2020 after loyal to the region's rules attacked Federal Army base, killing soldiers and looting weapons. Last June, Addis Ababa announced a truce and withdrew its force from Tigray, only for the rebels to attack neighboring regions in their bid to advance on the capital. A carved mask from Central Africa dating from the 19th century was sold in France for 4.2 million euros, which is $4.6 million on Saturday, despite Gabonese protesters in the auction house calling for the item's restitution. The rare wooden Nge marks used in ceremonies by the Fang ethnic people of Gabon smashed its estimate of 300,000 to 400,000 euros at the auction in the southern French city of Montpellier. Auctioneer Jean-Christophe Giuseppe said the auction was entirely legal as far as he was aware. Accompanied by security guards, the demonstrators left the auction hall calmly but continued their protest against the sale of African works of art. Saturday's auction also included a Congolese chair which sold for 44,000 euros, which added costs and fees. The total paid by the successful bidder for the Fang mask was 5.25 million euros, close to a record of such an item. In 2006, a similar Fang mask brought in 5.9 million euros at a Paris auction. Recovery crews on Sunday found a second black box from the deadliest plane crash, China Eastern Boeing 737-800, that killed all 132 people on board last week. Firefighters taking part in search found the recorder and orange cylinder on a mountain slope about 1.5 meters 5 feet underground. Searchers had been looking for the flight data recorder after finding the cockpit voice recorded 4 days ago. The two recorders should help investigators determine what caused the plane to plummet from 29,000 feet and into the forest mountain in southern China. The search for the black boxes and wreckage from the plane has been complicated by the remote setting and rainy and muddy conditions. French President Emmanuel Macron on Sunday warned against verbal escalation with Moscow after U.S. President Joe Biden called Russia leader Vladimir Putin a butcher over his invasion of Ukraine. Macron told broadcasters France 3 that he saw his task as achieving first a ceasefire and then the total withdrawal of Russian troops by diplomatic means. Paris has kept diplomatic channels to Moscow open throughout Russia's military buildup on Ukraine's borders and invasion of its neighbors. The stance has been criticized by some other leaders and commentators, but defended by Macron as vital or limiting damage from the war. He nevertheless accused Putin Sunday of wanting to return to a Europe or empires of domination without respect for the integrity of borders and nations' right to decide for themselves. Biden's Saturday's remarks were far more muscular, with the U.S. chief executive using a visit to Poland to dub Putin a butcher who cannot remain in power. Macron said that he would call Putin on Monday or Tuesday to discuss a proposal from France, Greece, and Turkey to evacuate Ukrainians from besieged port city Mariupol. And that's all on Newslive. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. President Buhari remains the compass of APC, says Senate leader. Kaduna confirms airport attack, says troops repelled terrorists. Plus, ECOWAS upholds regional sanctions on Mali. Many thanks for watching. I am Nsikak Evans.